Hey everybody, it's me, Liv. So I am back today doing another art journal page in a Halloween theme style here. So I went ahead and used the two mica sprays that came in, the purple and the gray color. I'm going to dry it off really quickly with my heat gun. And then I'm just going to keep on adding color until most of the page is full. Again, I'm focusing on using some of the purple, gray, and green colors that come in this month's Jolie Mixed Media October kit. And then what I'm going to be doing here is actually taking the green one and I'm using it to stamp with through my stencil. So you see I sprayed it off on the side. Now I'm just patting it down, picking up some of the liquid here, and I'm going to go ahead and use it as a stamp instead of just a stencil. Now I felt like I had still too many clear spots, so that's why I went in and just did a little bit more drying, and I'm trying to fill in all of the color that is here. Now I want to go ahead and do just a little bit more stamping in those whitish areas. I don't want to take out all the white, but because this is really a Halloween one and I just have this thing with too much white space, I'm going to go ahead and fill that in. Next, I'm going to go in with the crayons that also came with this month's kit, and I am using them through the stencil to create texture. What's great about these crayons is that because of their super waxy film, it kind of builds up almost like a gesso if you use it in this way. So definitely try it if you haven't, if you use it through your stencils. And then I'm just going to take some of the remainder color and squish it on out of that stencil. Now, I figured it's time for me to use some of those resin pieces, so I'm going back with those same exact mica sprays, and I'm going to spray it onto my resin piece that I have. I was kind of going with the spooky haunted door kind of theme here. So I went ahead and I'm drying this off. One of the things that I would suggest is if you're trying to get deeper color, you could definitely color this if you want, like paint over it some type of gesso to get it to stay a little bit more. I'm actually going to be using the crayons from this month to do more like a wax finish on it. So this is leaving a really cool like oil, like a gilded kind of patina look to this window, and I kind of like where it's going, so I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm just using my one of my old sponges really to make sure that we get all that liquid all over, cover up any of those sides and back here, and then press down that crayon look into there. So I went over with another layer because I think too much of it came off with the purple, so I'm just kind of go ahead and pushing that down onto that surface. You will get a close-up of that later. Now I felt there was just a little bit too dark, so I'm going to bring in some fantastic orange here. This is from one of the Distress Oxide sprays that I have. And then I took the paper that came from this month's tag kit, as well as from this month's mixed media kit, and I'm using some of those cutouts here as part of the background. So I cut out this graveyard scene. I'm using the cat from the rice paper. I went ahead and cut out the little cauldron as well, and so I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing everything down. I'm having to use a little bit more force because it was taking a while for the door to stick, but once I got that to stick, I went ahead and glued all the different elements that I have here, getting that skull on top. Decided to pop up the cauldron because I thought it would just add a little bit more layer. And I felt the space was still too blank, so I'm going to pull in some chipboard that came from Jolie, add a little bit of the crayon just to blend the edges here of this paper. And then I'm going to also take out something that I have from my stash, some more die cuts, and bringing out a little bit more of that orange to lighten up the whole thing. So once I go ahead and put this last paper cut element that I have in my stash, I feel like this is pretty much done. I did want to ink along the edges, bring up a little bit more of that orange, so I did go ahead and do that, taking out one of my old orange pads, this is the StazOn one, and just inking all along the edges, getting a little bit onto the door itself to pop up a little bit of orange on there by tapping it on. And then I am going to put just a little bit of white splatter as well on here. Now, if you don't like too much of a mess. If you want your essential items to be covered, I would suggest that. In hindsight, I probably should have covered my cat, but that's okay. I didn't mind overall how it ended up coming out. And so now my piece is pretty much finished. Here is a close-up of what it looks like. Look at all this texture gooky fun that looks just great for the Halloween season. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and definitely go check out the Trust Jolie